Investiture of the Gods, Chapter 83.
The sources, they make it really clear this is all, well, it's pretty much predetermined. It's driven by this concept of having fate, or yuan, with the other side.
Ah, right. The yuan.
The opening poem of the chapter basically sets the whole tone. It says, anyone who enters this killing tribulation, the shaji, is destined to shed their skin to ogu and end up, covered in fur and wearing horns. They lose their cultivated identity forever.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where does this whole spiritual demotion begin? I think the precedent gets set pretty early by Zunti Darin from the Western teaching.
It does. He basically starts the collection with Wu Yunxian, the Cloud Immortal.
And Wu Yunxian is a big deal, right? He's not some minor character.
Oh, he's a formidable figure. But his capture is so swift. It's almost strangely clinical. Zunti Darin isn't even part of the main group. He sort of operates on the side. And he just tells his attendant, the Water and Fire Youth, to use a specific artifact.
The 6 roots of purity bamboo.
That's the one.
Wait, okay. A bamboo stick. How does a seemingly simple bamboo artifact take down an immortal who's been cultivating for thousands of years? Does the text suggest that the tool's power is maybe less important than that predetermined fate you mentioned, the yuan?
It absolutely suggests fate trumps power here. The artifact is just the catalyst. The text says the bamboo shines with this infinite light. It wraps around Wu Yunxian, and the moment Zunti says, reveal your true form, Wu Yunxian just shakes his head once.
Boom.
And instantly transforms into a magnificent gold-bearded Ao, a massive sort of turtlefish creature. He literally sheds his skin, just like the prophecy said.
And the repurposing, the new job, that happens right away.
Completely immediate. The Water and Fire Youth just jumps on the Ao's back and they're gone. Whisked away to the Western Eight Virtues Pond for a life that's described as, and this is a great euphemism, leisure and bliss.
Leisure and bliss, right,
Yeah.
Surrounded by gold lotuses. Meanwhile, his teacher, Tongtian Jiaozu, is watching this, and he's just enraged. He sees it as theft.
But Zunti just doubles down on the insult.
Of course he does.
Exactly. He explains with this signature smugness that, well, Wu Yunxian had yuan with the West, and this fate is objectively better than staying tangled up in the mortal conflict, the red dust.
The message is pretty clear then. I didn't steal your disciple.
I saved your pet from a fight. It was never going to win. It's the ultimate spiritual smash and grab.
Wow, okay, so that sets a pretty grim stage for the main event. Let's move on to the battlefield proper, to the first major captive of the Chan teachings, Qishu Shinan.
Right, so Qishu Shan comes out of Taijie. He's challenging everyone, singing this cryptic song about the great Tao. And Yonshi Tianzun, the leader, he points at Manchu Guangfa Tianzun and says, you're up.
And he arms him with something that is decidedly not subtle.
Not subtle at all, the Pangu banner.
That is bringing a cannon to a knife fight. So Manjusri takes this banner, he walks into the Taiji array, which sounds terrifying. Iron walls, copper barriers, mountains of weapons.
Qishu Shan thinks he has him trapped. He thinks he's got the upper hand.
But he's wrong.
Very wrong. Manjusri doesn't even really need the banner to take him down. He just reveals his Dharma form, his true spiritual power, and the visuals here are meant to just overwhelm you.
What does he look like?
His face is the color of indigo, deep blue, with red hair, a red beard, and he's just covered in this auspicious 5-colored glow and golden light. This is power made physical. It's terrifying.
So once the array is broken, what's the capture tool? Is it something equally epic?
Ironically, it's pretty simple. It's the demon binding rope. Once he's tied up, Manjusri just calls in the spiritual security detail, the yellow turban strongmen, and tells them to haul him back to the command tent.
And this is where the real humiliation happens.
Yes, delivered by Naji Shanweng, the South Pole Immortal. He uses an incantation, forces Qishu to show his true form, and with a shake and a roll, he's revealed to be a majestic green-maned lion.
Okay, so they didn't just turn him into a mount, they publicly branded him, didn't they?
That is the most biting detail. The lion is immediately designated as Manjusri's personal mount, but then they hang a plaque around its neck. Yes, a plaque with the name Qishu Shan on it, like a dog tag. And the text explicitly says Tongtian Jiaozu's face turns red with shame and anger when he sees it. The message is clear. You're not just defeated. Your very identity is now our property.
Seeing his disciple branded like an animal must have been a punch to the gut for Tongtian. He's furious already, and then the next challenger steps up immediately.
Exactly. Next up is Ling Yixin from the Lianji array, the two poles array.
And he comes out all confident, even after what just happened.
Very confident. He says his formation will determine high and low. This challenge is met by Puxian Zenran, and he's armed with the Taiji Talisman seal.
Puxian gives a great pre-battle taunt here, doesn't he? He basically tells Ling Yixin, you're about to manifest your original form, and you're going to regret this.
The writing just leans so heavily into the inevitability of it all. Ling Yixin unleashes thunder, all the array's magic. But Puxian's response is even more ferocious than Manjusri's.
His Dharma form.
His Dharma form, a face like a purple date.
A purple date? That is such a bizarrely specific image. What is that trying to convey? Is it just that this cosmic power is alien to us?
That's precisely it. It's showing that the true face of this level of power is not the beautiful human-like form of an immortal. It's elemental and fierce. He has a giant mouth, tusks, 3 heads, 6 arms.
Okay, so a terrifying sight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He uses a long rainbow rope to tie him up, and once again, Naji Xinwing steps in. He strikes Ling Yixin a few times with the 3 treasures Jade Rui.
And the pattern completes itself.
Ling Yixin transforms into his original shape, a majestic white elephant. And just like the lion, he's immediately claimed as Puxian's mount, name, claque, and all.
So now Tongqin has a green lion on his left and a white elephant on his right, both being paraded as trophies, both wearing the names of his best disciples.
The text says he's beyond rage at this point. He sees the lion and the elephant and is enraged. And that fury just sets the stage for the final capture we're looking at today.
Jing Guangxian from the Four Symbols Array.
Jing Guangxian comes out proclaiming he can subdue dragon and tiger, but the outcome is already written. Yuanqi Tianzun picks Qihang Daoren for this fight and says, flat out, this is Qihang's fated mount. The spiritual contract is already signed.
The ultimate spoiler is even in the description of the array, right? The text notes its destiny is to meet the golden-haired Hao. So we know what he's about to turn into.
We do. Jie Wangyan attacks, but Qihang Daoren reveals a dazzling Dharma form, maybe the most auspicious-looking one of all.
How so?
His face is described as being like powder so, very pale, 3 heads, 6 arms, but his eyes are blazing with golden dragons and firelight.
Yeah.
And he has golden lotuses growing out of his ears.
And the details around him, the accessories, they really drive home his authority.
They really do. Xiang's feet are stepping on a golden Ao, which is a deliberate nod to the one Zunti captured earlier. It's like showing off their shared success.
A little flex.
A huge flex. And he's holding a 3 treasures Rui, but most importantly, he has a willow branch behind his elbow. And that willow branch becomes so important later, it signals his connection to compassion and healing, even in the middle of this brutal demotion. The defeat of the disciple Jin Guangxian, it feels less like a fight and more like a hostile corporate takeover.
It really does. What's so remarkable about his defeat is the lack of a real struggle against these high-level disciples. The source even notes he's momentarily stunned. He actually marvels at their superior different aura just before he tries to run.
But he doesn't get far.
Yeah.
Qihang Daoren, a key Chanjiao disciple, she doesn't even engage him directly. It's all overwhelming mystical force. She raises the 3 treasures, Jade Rui, this powerful jade scepter, and these yellow turbaned strongmen are just commanded to seize him, drag him away.
And that artifact, the 3 treasures Jade Rui, that's key. It's an implement of ultimate spiritual authority. It signals that this defeat isn't about personal skill. It's a mandate from the very top of the Taoist hierarchy. And once he's captured, the transformation is immediate. It's non-negotiable.
So back at the Reed Canopy, Nanji Qin Wang, following direct orders from the Supreme Sage Laozi, forces the truth out of him. He strikes Jing Guangxian's neck and just commands him to reveal his true form.
And the disguise just sheds instantly. Jing Guangxian rolls on the ground and he reveals his enormous original self, the golden-haired Hao.
For anyone listening who hasn't encountered this creature, what exactly is a Hao?
It's often described as this mythical, fierce hound-like beast, visually very powerful, but spiritually it's considered subordinate to the immortal's human form.
So revealing the Hao isn't just magic, it's a statement, a profound statement about Jing Guangxian's spiritual inferiority, that he's only capable of servitude.
Yeah. And the repurposing is immediate. It's the ultimate political subordination. Yuanqi dictates that the Hao be marked with a plaque bearing Jin Guangxian's name and is immediately assigned as Qihang Daoren's personal mount. A powerful enemy disciple is just reduced to transportation.
So if we zoom out a bit, this moment finalizes a crucial set of acquisitions, right? They'd already captured the mounts of other disciples, the lion and the elephant. And now, with the golden-haired Hao, the 3 key mounts are all assembled.
This is the mythological nexus point. The source explicitly connects this event to the later story. It notes that this final collection establishes the figures who will become the 3 great bodhisattvas of Buddhism, Manjusri, Samantabhadra, and Guanyin, who is, of course, the future form of Seheng Daolen. The text confirms this is all done to, and I'm quoting, later promote the rise of Buddhism.
It's the ultimate mythological recruitment strategy. Defeat your rival, expose their base form, and then turn them into the literal foundation of the next spiritual system. Let's talk about Guiling Shengmu, the mother tortoise. She steps forward, a figure of absolute loyalty, ready to avenge her comrades.
And she is a figure of ancient power. She comes out in this large, red, 8 trigrams robe, which signifies a deep understanding of Taoist cosmic principles. But the sages, they immediately dismiss her based on her origin. Yuanqi Tianzun, instead of acknowledging her mastery, just mockingly questions how such a thing could ever hope to achieve enlightenment.
That derision is just brutal. And the descriptive poem in the source is critical here. It says her roots were born from mud. Banyi. What's the significance of her being the mother turtle, the Muwugi?
It means she's of an older, earthier, more elemental power, associated with Fuxi, divination, the dawn of civilization. By calling her born from mud, Yuanqi is placing her beneath the purified celestial existence of the Changjiao. She's ancient, but in this new hierarchy, that's a flaw, not a strength.
Right, and despite that spiritual slight, she is formidable. She engages Julu Sun, and she deploys the powerful Sun and Moon Pearl. This is a serious weapon, and yet Juli's son immediately turns and retreats. Why? Why is he running?
He isn't running. He's fulfilling prophecy. Julu's son is explicitly named a guest with destiny in the West. He's destined to join the Western teachings, and he knows that defeating Guiling Shengmu would just incur this huge, unnecessary karmic debt. So he strategically retreats westward, and in doing so, he draws her straight toward the real power in the West.
Which brings us to Jiejiao Daoren, one of the supreme leaders of the Western teachings.
Exactly. Jiejiao arrives to protect his future flock, so to speak. The mother turtle attacks him with her pearl, but he doesn't fight back with force. He uses an aura, a white halo, which magically produces a protective green lotus. The pearl is instantly harmless.
A green lotus. Why a green lotus specifically?
The lotus is such a powerful symbol in Buddhism, purity rising from the mud. It is the perfect, serene counterpoint to the raw, ancient, earth-based power of her pearl. And then Jiejiao delivers the core philosophical justification for the entire war. He says the conflict is due to fate, to karma kishu shran.
Let's just pause on that phrase for a second. Kishu shran. Destiny willed it. This isn't just an excuse, is it? It's the whole operational principle of the Fengshen Yanyi conflict.
It's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for cosmic violence. It allows the supreme sages to perform these, heinous acts like dismantling an entire spiritual lineage without incurring guilt. If fate dictates it, they're just instruments. So Jiejiao uses his prayer beads, they strike the turtle, and she's forced into her original, massive, and completely vulnerable form.
Juli's son sees the opening, he moves in to kill her, but Jiejiao stops him again. He warns against endless karmic retribution. The sages are so concerned about debt, but avoiding that debt leads to, I think, the most shocking, unpredictable demise in the whole chapter.
Oh, absolutely. The mother turtle is collected by the White Lotus boy into a small bag, but when the boy opens it, trying to secure her, the chaotic spiritual energy is just too much, and this massive swarm of powerful, ravenous mosquitoes escapes instead.
This is where the poetry turns into cosmic horror. The sources say they sound like thunder, sting like a needle, and gather so thickly they look like hairpins. This isn't elegant spiritual combat, it's an ecological disaster.
It is pure, brutal consumption. The mosquitoes descend on the massive, helpless turtle form, and they just suck her into an empty shell. Shi Cheng Konke, this ancient, loyal spirit. She doesn't meet her end by a legendary sword, but by blood-sucking pests.
But the karmic overflow doesn't stop with her. This accidental swarm creates an irreversible spiritual liability for the very teachings that are destined to win.
And this is the crucial, often missed nuance of the source material. It's the cost accounting of destiny. The mosquitoes, now energized by the turtle's spiritual essence, fly straight to the Western teachings base. And they voraciously consume 3 grades of the sacred 12-grade Lotus Terrace before they can be stopped.
Wait, they take physical, spiritual damage to their holy site. That's not symbolic. That's a permanent scar on the new order.
It is an irreversible loss. The source notes that the sages realize the damage means regret cannot catch up. And this permanent injury to the core seat of the Western teachings is then cited as a prelude to the future rise of the Buddhist monastic order. It establishes that even divinely mandated change comes with these unavoidable accidental price tags.
That theme of accidental cost is such a fascinating counterpoint to the cold calculation of the sages. And speaking of cold calculation, let's look at the final strategic mandate. After the skirmish, the four supreme sages, Laozi, Yuanxi, Jiyan, and Zunti, they convene at the reed canopy.
And the conversation shifts immediately from justification to action. Yuanxi and Laozi agree the array must be broken immediately to extinguish the delusions of the Jiejiao and, crucially, to ensure their own disciples complete the karma, Wanjishu.
There's a note of profound sadness in the text, though. They acknowledge that this violence will tragically cut off the path for future seekers of the Tao. It's a recognition that their victory means closing doors, permanently.
It is total closure. And then they finalize the weaponized plan, giving the details to Jiangxia. They have to secure victory by turning the enemy's own strength against them.
And the centerpiece of this plan is a shocking turn of revenge. Jiangxia is ordered to retrieve the four powerful swords, Zhu, Lu, Xian, and Zhu, the same ones that had been used against them earlier.
And they assign four specific high-ranking Changzhou disciples to breach the array using those very same captured weapons. But the final instruction, that is the most revealing part of the whole strategy. They must use the enemy's own weapons to sever his disciples.
So this ensures that the Jiejiao disciples fulfill their own cycle of destiny, their own Jishu. The Changzhou sages aren't personally incurring the evil karma of the destruction. They're just acting as instruments to make sure the Jiejiao destroys itself with its own powerful captured weapons. It's a perfectly insulated clinical victory. Hongjian and Longjin. Now, they were safely stationed miles away at Tongguan. They should have been fine.
Right, they're out of the action.
They should be. But the sheer gravitational pull of the array, this magnetic requirement to fulfill their destined tribulation, their Jiejiao, was just too strong. They felt compelled to go.
So they get permission from King Wu, but the sources make it really clear this wasn't like a strategic decision.
Not at all. It was an impulse. They literally told the king they were going to complete their doom.
Wow. And Jiejiao, the Grand Marshal, the guy in charge of the whole Zhu army, he couldn't stop them.
He literally could not stop them.
Okay, so that inability is the key here.
It is the narrative key. The text explicitly tells us this happened because heaven's decree made it so. The authors used this moment to basically warn the reader. Don't analyze the tactics.
Analyze the mandate.
Exactly.
But if the Grand Marshal couldn't stop them, doesn't that kind of, pull the rug out from under the whole idea of heroic action or military discipline in this entire saga?
It does.
It suggests any effort to resist fate is just useless.
And that is precisely the point the sages want to make. So their unconstrained charge into the array brings them straight into total chaos.
And Longji, she's a Yaoqi fairy, right? She's got some powerful tools.
She does. She draws her white light sword, which is this beautiful treasure from the Jade Pond, and she actually manages to wound several enemy immortals.
So she has some initial success.
For a moment, yeah.
Oh.
But that success is very short-lived. This chaos brings her face-to-face with one of the enemy's most powerful commanders, Jinling Shengmu,
The Golden Spirit, Holy Mother.
riding her 7-fragrant chariot. And the duel is, well, it's over before it even begins.
That fast.
That fast.
Yeah.
Jinling Shengmu immediately produces the 4-faced pagoda. Longjakmu, she doesn't recognize the power of the supreme treasure. She can't dodge it, and it strikes her instantly. Kills her.
Wow, killed instantly. That is a shockingly brutal end for someone of her status or celestial birth. And then what about her husband, Hongjin? He tries to avenge her.
He does. He shouts his grief, his fury, and he just rushes in, attempting the impossible. But Jinling Shengmu simply uses her other treasure, the dragon dagger, strikes him down, and he dies immediately.
Just like that. Both of them.
Both of them gone in a flash. It's the ultimate undoing of a couple who found love, only for that love to lead them into this shared, inescapable doom.
And what's really fascinating is the reaction from the top, from the sages.
Yeah.
Yuanxi is watching this, and he comments to the Western sages that, even Longji, the daughter of the Jade Pond Golden Mother, couldn't escape.
Right. He basically says her death confirms that inevitable fate is at work, and it's completely beyond individual power.
Even for a celestial princess.
Even for her.
Yeah.
Both their souls go straight to the platform of investiture. And this tragic end, it just sets this chilling precedent. High status, powerful magic.
None of it matters.
None of it matters if fate has written your name down.
Okay, let's shift from that personal tragedy to the grand strategy. This wave of death happens right before the main event, the big confrontation with Laozi, Yuan Shi, and the two Western Taoists.
Yes, and Tongtian, seeing his forces starting to crumble, decides it's time to deploy a secret weapon.
The Six Souls banner.
The mighty Six Souls banner, yes.
Mhm.
This is supposed to be the ultimate trump card. It's a weapon designed to target and neutralize the highest sages themselves.
So he gives this crucial task to his disciple, Cheng-Er Ding Wangxian, the long-eared immortal.
He does, but there's a problem.
The disciple gets cold feet.
He gets cold feet before he even acts. He starts looking at the opposition, reflecting on their caliber. And what strikes me here is that his doubt isn't about their magical power.
Right, it's about their moral foundation. He notes the high virtue and integrity, the Dao de Xixi of Yuan Shi's disciples.
That moral quality is the first crack in Tongtian's entire plan. And then Chang'er looks over at the Western sages, and he sees their immense power, their dharma, evidenced by these three Sharira lights just radiating from the top of their heads.
So this isn't just about raw power. This is like certified, undeniable spiritual merit he's seeing.
It is. And that recognition of the enemy's superior spiritual quality causes him to feel what the text calls 3 parts retreat.
He's already 30% defeated in his own mind.
Exactly. He's defeated simply by acknowledging the quality of the other side. And this tells us everything. The battle is lost before the array is even fully activated.
So Tongtian is surrounded by disciples who are either destined to die, like we just saw, or are internally compromised, like Chang'er.
Absolutely. This fragility, this internal weakness, it forces him to pivot. He has to go for sheer, overwhelming spectacle.
Which brings us to the Grand Muster. Sensing that his core disciples are faltering, Tongtian starts drawing out 28 specific Taoists from the array.
And he organizes them into this massive, formal, and frankly terrifying cosmic deployment. The 28 lunar mansions.
This is a spectacle designed to intimidate the heavens.
Its organization is a last resort. He starts grouping them by element and celestial function. First, you see a group come out under a blue flag, representing wood. They're dressed in silk sashes and robes.
And these are the ones destined to become cosmic beasts, like the hornwood dragon and the stridewood wolf.
That's them. And then right after them, you get the ferocious red flag group for fire.
The tail fire tiger, the wing fire snake.
All these fiery creatures.
But then the white flag appears, representing metal, and this is where it gets interesting.
What happens with them? The white flag group is where the sages first register this genuine philosophical disgust. These 4 are wearing these great white robes, and the sages instantly note their vicious appearance and their evil atmosphere.
So these are not noble warriors?
Not at all. They're the ones destined to become the dipper metal ox and the neck metal dragon. So you have this mix, you see. Some look noble, others are clearly vicious.
And others are described with these profound cultivation terms, but it's clear they failed to actually achieve true enlightenment.
Exactly. They appear in 7 groups in total, all drawn out by different banners: water, soil, the sun constellations, and the moon constellations. And together, they create this overwhelmingly powerful display.
It's a physical manifestation of cosmic organization. It must have been teeming with ki, with danger, with military precision.
Staggering military spectacle. Tongtian has deployed 28 powerful practitioners and organized them into a cosmological killing machine.
But and here is the central contradiction. The sages are not impressed.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. Despite this enormous force, Yuan Shi and Laozi repeatedly just dismiss them with utter contempt.
They just look at these 28 Taoists and deliver what is basically the key philosophical verdict of this whole conflict.
They do. They declare that these recruits have the name of an immortal, but not the bones of an immortal.
What does that phrase really tell us about their ultimate fate?
I mean, it's the ultimate spiritual background check. It means they lack the intrinsic quality, the right foundation. They're judged to lack the root of cultivation and the blessing to cultivate.
So it's not about how powerful their magic is.
No, it's about their spiritual integrity, their karmic destiny.
So the Phlages see this huge organized array not as a legitimate threat, but just as, I don't know, the inevitable process of these unfortunate low-quality souls being swept up to fulfill the quota.
Pretty much. They're just there to complete the investiture list. Their low spiritual quality justifies their defeat before a single blow is even struck.